Okay, so we've got our second sort of player Q&A with Perry in the bottom corner as well. Today we've got Jordan Manley and Tony Davies. So we're going to do what we did last time. There's just little sort of quick fire questions and then a couple of other questions that I've just sort of like come up with myself. And then we'll sort of pester Perry to throw a couple of extra questions in as well. So we'll start with Jordan. So obviously we've not had fans in yet. So if the answers have seemed a bit obvious, it's because no one's seen you play. Well, they might have done on the stream. So, Jordan, what position do you play?
So I play for goalkeeper at Rhyl.
Goalkeeper. What football club do you support?
Support Liverpool.
Oh, it's a shame. Best player that you've ever played with?
Oh, probably back in my Nomads days, there's a few lads that went America. Jack Chambers and Tom Bibby, that's sort of my age. Can't think if I've played with any other pros, but they're really good lads, played out in America.
Brilliant. Best player that you've ever played against?
Off the top of my head, I can't really think. Played against a few good teams though back in the day. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head. I've just played like loads of teams in the Welsh Prem. Obviously, they're all good standard. Like TNS springs to mind, load of good players that play for them. I can't probably single one player out.
I mean, the TNS players, I think they're all comfortable on the ball, aren't they? So it's hard to sort of pinpoint one. Favourite ever player?
I'd have to say it's probably one of the goalkeepers, probably Joe Hart, I think. He's been a bit of an idol for me.
There you go. Anyone else? Any Liverpool ones?
Oh yeah, definitely Gerrard. Yeah, he's a big idol of mine as well.
There you go. Best manager that you've played under? You can't say him in the corner.
Well, we've not really played too much yet, so I can't really comment on that. But good question. Probably back in me, probably for uni actually. Like I've had a load of good managers for Nomads when I played out for them, but my uni manager, he taught me a lot, like on and off the pitch as well. He was always there for us. He was really good. So his name was Davies. He was a really good manager.
I suppose university is that sort of like it's that strange time, isn't it, where you're starting to grow up a little bit as well. So I suppose off the pitch is just as important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Favourite ground that you've ever played at or stadium?
I mean, stadium I've played a few times, like over the years in cups, back when I was younger. Like, and it's a really good stadium. I think now, when I've been on tour with Nomads, we played on a few nice stadiums in Holland. We did. I remember playing a few stadiums in there, but no, but I'll just go with the collective and say Rhyl.
Good answer. What's your proudest footballing achievement?
Good question. Probably the one that springs to mind is that when I was back playing for Connors Key Nomads, breaking into the first team, I was 16, and in the friendly we played against Dynamo Bucharest, and I managed to get on for like the last 15 minutes. So that's probably like memorable moment, first breaking into first team football against such like a big team. It's probably one of the biggest teams I played against. So I'd have to say that moment.
That's pretty cool. I think the European games, we've had a few at Bellevue before now, Partizan Belgrade, teams like that. And it's just, even as a fan to watch it, it's just a phenomenal thing to be at. Really is. Got battered, but it was good fun to watch. What would you still like to achieve in football? What's your sort of goal?
I think the main goal for me now is just a bit of stability with a club. I feel like studying for uni for the past 3 years, and obviously couldn't really commit to a club since Nomads. Like I was at Nomads for 7 years, and then since then I've been here or there with a few clubs. But I think my main goal now is to just like commit to a team, have a good run, win the league, and just go beyond, win everything I can really, and just And obviously, Rhyl presented a good opportunity, new team, new squad with big ambitions. So that's probably my biggest goal, is just to stay committed and do the best I can.
Brilliant. What's your biggest achievement in life, aside from football? You're only young.
That's a big one. Well, I was recently last year during July, I got my physiotherapy degree, and currently working for the NHS during the pandemic. So that's like probably the biggest milestone, really. Getting my degree and obviously contributing to like the crisis at the minute. It's really tough, but it's like everyone's sticking together. It's really rewarding. So I'd have to say that, really.
Brilliant. Your favourite meal? Random one.
Paella. Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
I'm not having that. He's always seen on the bloody strip in Queen's Ferry and any of the takeaways is our Jordan.
Domino's close second.
And then your favourite holiday destination?
Where was it so far? I've been to Spain, been Costa del Sol. That was really nice.
Yep. And then what do you do to relax?
I do watch like a lot of YouTube in my spare time, but I do meditate a lot, to be honest. I've done it for a few years, and obviously during these hectic times, it really calms me down. So I'd have to say that, really. I do a lot in my spare time. I try and keep myself fit as well, go running, weightlifting as you can, but meditating is a big one for me.
Yeah, same as me with the running. Right, well, that's it for them. Oh, that was a lie. Okay. And then I've just got some questions that obviously we can all chip in. Well, not me, obviously, not about me, but what you can all chip in on. So we'll start with you for Tony first. What attracted you to play for CPD Y Rhyl 1879 when you could have potentially played at a higher level? I'm sure you had offers at a higher level as well.
To be fair, but Pez really. Once I sort of knew that Pez was in the running for the job, I said I think I phoned him pretty much straight away, and I was at Flint last year. Flint were going into the Welsh Prem. They'd been basically promoted, and I just couldn't commit to the travelling and the training with work commitments, and obviously we were playing for the old Rhyl. I knew the setup was going to be. But obviously the ground, the fans, they were all great. But you know, Pez was the thing with me, because I've obviously played with him before, and you know we've got a good relationship on and off the pitch. So it was a no-brainer for me, really.
Oh, brilliant. Good. Why do you want to play for Rhyl when you could have potentially played at a higher level? What was sort of? I suppose you answered it a little bit before, but it is more of I suppose it was more about the idea of it being a little bit of a journey, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my goal really is, after coming back home from studying in Preston, it was just to settle down with a club that I thought was right. And when I got offered to come to Rhyl, obviously know how big a club Rhyl is, with the history and the fan base and obviously the facilities. I thought it was just a real good fit and just something I could commit to for the future, as opposed to just going somewhere safer. So that's why I thought it was a big thing for me.
Brilliant. Tony, what are your expectations of your teammates?
Just to give everything they can, really. You know, there's quite a few young lads there, and you know, as long as they're giving everything that they can give on a pitch across the white line, and you know, you can't really ask much more than that. We've got a good mixture of players. Some have played high standards, the likes of myself, Walshy, Lammy. But then you've got a couple of the younger lads who've been in the academy before, and they've, you know, this is going to be the opportunity for them to play senior football, if you like. And you know, it's going to be tough, but you know, as long as they give everything that they can give, and you know, they leave it all out there, then you can't ask for much more than that of them, really.
Yeah. You got any expectations of your teammates, Jordan?
Pretty much just, if we all just put in the effort, the quality will show.
What are your expectations of the coaching staff, Tony?
I sort of know what I'm going to get from Pez. He'll just say it as it is. You know, coaching staff wise, they've got to these people there that are going to need an arm around them. These people in there that are not going to be able to take a ball of him. But you know, it's getting to know your players really. You know what they're capable of and what they're going to be able to give and bring to the team. But looking at the squad that they brought in so far, you know, the lads they've all gelled pretty well anyway. Training was great, and you know, it's each individual person on the coaching staff has got their own. They're going to bring their own things to the table, and you know, watching them and learning off them really is going to be vital for everyone. Mainly so the younger ones who are the adult game now. You know, it's taking their experience on board, and what you know, people being at a good level. It's to take on board what the knowledge that they've got themselves.
Yeah. And I suppose that a lot of your time spent with Andy. Have you got any sort of expectations from the goalkeeping coach, Andy Wilmot?
To be fair, he's met the standards and beyond. Like obviously the past few years, I've had time to just do training with a goalkeeper coach, and it's been really something I've missed. And one obviously the things that brought me in excited at Rhyl was the fact that Andy was coming on board, and he's met all expectations and gone beyond. And if he can carry on doing that, then I'm going to be happy because I'm happy at the moment. So,
brilliant. There we go. At what club do you feel that you've had the best team spirit, and how do you think something similar would benefit our new team? Don't mind who goes first.
It's got to be when I was at Bala. We had a great set of lads at Bala. When I first signed there, we were struggling for results. We lost quite a few, but then after the split, we just sort of had the togetherness, and I think we went on a 16-game unbeaten run. You know, you can have all the ability in the world in the dressing room, but if you're not in there for all the same reason and fighting and pulling the same way, then it's absolutely pointless. So team spirit is a massive thing. You know, you've got to have your teammates out. You've got to have people going back to the bar. That all helps. You know, you can have, like I said, you can have all the ability in the world, but a team that works hard for each other will beat a team that's got ability 9 times out of 10, because you know you're all there for the same reason. You're all pulling the same way. So for me, it'd have to be the Bala team that when we first qualified for Europe. That was probably one of the best team spirited sides I've been involved in.
Who was in your team there then?
At the time, there was Stewie Jones, there was John Irvin, there was Mark Jones, Lee Hunt. We had a great team. Ben Collins. We had a really good team. Off the pitch, we were a great set of lads. Brownie, Louis Godlin. It was a team of real good players, to be fair, from number one right through to the subs.
Yeah, because we had Lee. Obviously, Lee Hunter was at Bellevue, and for us, he was absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Anything on team spirit, Jordan? Where have you sort of felt like a bit of a togetherness where it sort of benefited your team?
I just second what Tony said, really. Like, it's got to be attitude on and off the pitch. And the big thing that came to mind that I first thought is, as you say, going to the pubs after games, training well, in the changing rooms, and obviously social events as well. That's obviously where the togetherness comes and the bonding comes. And that, I reflected on that. That's probably what I had at uni. That's probably why I had such a good time with uni footy, because it was equal on and off the pitch. And if we can just replicate that at Rhyl, then that will be great for just results and meeting targets and achievements and stuff like that.
Have either of you got a standout performer in training, someone you've seen in training and you've gone, no, actually, wasn't expecting them to be at the standard that they're at?
Not really. I'll be honest with you, I didn't get to many training sessions due to, obviously, with me being in the tier 3 and 4, so I wasn't allowed to travel. But the training sessions that I've been involved in, Beachy probably. He's stood out for me, Beachy, yeah.
Yes. Right. Tony, this one specifically for you. So, do you feel any added pressure being one of the most experienced players in the squad? and then obviously playing.
Really, I think being one of the most experienced ones, I think it'll help me. It might bring me down a little bit and calm me down being with some of the. It's something that I need to do, to be fair, because I'm a little bit of a hothead, as everyone knows. But I think I don't feel any pressure. If anything, I thrive more under pressure anyway. I think the more pressure, the better for me. Really, I think that's how you get the best out of me.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, Jordan, you might have already mentioned it, but what goalkeeper do you look up to most, and to a certain degree base your game on?
So as I said before, yeah, that in terms of elite, that it would be the likes of Joe Hart, who's had a sort of a overwhelming career and had lots of ups and downs. So obviously I look for, reflect on for guidance. But like in terms of more role models that I've had interacted with, like during my time at Nomads, there was a number of first team keepers like John Danby and Tim McCormack, and they were very supportive during, as I was a young keeper, breaking into first team football, and they obviously taught me a lot. So I'd say they're two standouts that I looked up to when I was younger as well. And obviously, I'd say they're probably big names to mention.
Yeah. And then, Tony, I've got all your questions for you. So most of us probably know, but what position do you play?
Centre half.
Centre half. I've seen you tweet. What football club do you support?
Everton.
Enjoy how they're playing at the moment? No, that's fine.
I love it. To be just a few certain players starting to really frustrate the life out of me.
Do you know who I really like at Everton? Tom Davies. I think he really puts the shit.
I don't know. A lot of people seem to like him, to be fair, but I can't see what the big issue is with them.
Best player that you've ever played with?
Best player to play with, probably Mark Jones.
Yeah. Best player that you ever played against?
Rhys Griffiths, believe it or not.
Yeah. He was always a consistent player, wasn't he?
Always. He was horrible as well. He was horrible. You just knew as soon as you were playing what you were going to get elbowed, you were going to get butted, you were going to get kicked. You knew that you were going to be in for a battle every time you played against them.
Brilliant. Favourite ever player?
Probably Andrzej Kanchelskis, to be fair.
Do you know what? I'm a United fan, and I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Bit gutted when he went.
Ridiculous. Yeah, he was one of the better players that we've had when from when I was younger.
Best manager that you've played under? Not him.
Can't say Pez, can I?
No.
I played under a few, to be fair. Probably will be Colin Keating, to be fair, though. He's a little bit of a crazy character off the football pitch, but on there, you knew what you're going to get out of him in the changing rooms. You wouldn't leave no stone unturned, to be fair. And if you made the mistake, he wouldn't hold back on letting you know that you'd done so. Do you know what I mean? You'd know for the fact that if you made the mistake during the game and you get to come off for half time, you knew for a fact that you were getting it. But that it just kept you on your toes and make sure that you didn't make any more mistakes.
Very, very good. Favourite ground that you've played at?
Favourite ground, probably the Tele2 Arena. When we were away in Europe, we played against AIK Solna, Sweden.
What was the atmosphere like?
Sorry?
What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, it was. I think there was about 6,500 in there in a 40,000 seater stadium. So it was pretty empty by the size of the capacity, but the fans were brilliant, to be fair. Yeah, made the noise right through.
Good. Proudest achievement in football?
I'd probably say winning a playoff final for the first time when Bala qualified for Europe. That was probably one of the better ones, and obviously getting to the World Cup final as well with Denby. Had to be up there as well. I think we were the wild card, and we beat quite a few Welsh Premier teams in a way. I think we beat Airbus, Connors Key, beat Rhyl on the way, and obviously got beaten in the final to TNS. So that's got to be up there as well. One of the best achievements that we've had.
Yeah. What would you still like to achieve in football?
I'd like to win a league. To be fair, I'd like to win a league, which is obviously why I signed for Rhyl. One of the reasons I signed for Rhyl. That's one thing that I've never won. I've never won a league. So, and obviously once that's done, I'd like to get into the coaching side of things and work towards getting my coaching badges.
Brilliant. So aside from football, what's your biggest achievement in life?
Me kids, to be fair. Me 2 kids. I got me little girl's 4 and my little lad's 11. So I think they've got to be my biggest achievements away from football.
Brilliant. Favorite meal?
Get to bolognese.
What do you do for a living?
Mechanic.
Very good. Might need your help with my missus's car. Favorite holiday destination?
I think it's got to be Val Thorens. When I'll go skiing every year, and Val Thorens has got to be one of the best places I've been to go. It's ridiculous. The views and the sights over there are phenomenal.
Brilliant. And then, what do you do to relax?
Don't get time to relax with 2 kids and working all the time. I just like to chill out and watch the telly, football, and watch a couple of series on Netflix and stuff.
Brilliant. Perry, got any questions?
Absolute none.
Oh, fantastic! It's been like watching TV.
It's quiet tonight. Yeah, it has. It's just just at the end of the day, it's hard for the lads at the moment, but that we're keeping in contact with one another. What I would say, you mentioned before about the lads in the spirit. I think it's credit to all the lads within the club that they've all signed up. The last couple of weeks with no sign of training, and that all the lads signed up for the score predictors every week, so they're doing their bit as well. So fair play to them. They're all the credit for doing that as well.
No, I appreciate that, and obviously as a fan, it's hard for us because obviously we just want to see us play as well. So we appreciate everything. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
As well. Finally, just a quick one. If you've got a message to the fans, I suppose. Do you want to start with Jordan?
Just stay patient, I guess. Like, obviously the first day will come and we'll allow fans in the stadium, and what a day that will be. So just stay patient, and obviously we'll put the effort in behind the scenes, and just stay patient and good things will come.
Brilliant. Tony?
Yeah, pretty much the same. We all know the situation that we're in at the moment with this pandemic and lockdowns coming thick and fast. But I think I've always had a good fan base. And once they see the squad that Perry's putting together in the football that we're trying to play, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised in what we're trying to achieve on and off the pitch, really. But yeah, like I say, it's just going to be a matter of time now before the fans can start getting back into the game, and I'm really looking forward to it. To be fair, I've played in front of the real fans before, and they were brilliant when you've got them on side. There's no better fan base, to be fair, and I can't wait for the first game for the new club and to get the fans there and watching.
Brilliant. Well, that's all. So thank you very much, both of you and you, Pez. Really, really appreciate you taking the time to do it. Well, thank you.
No probs.